Good evening, Miss. I am Rosalia. Our topic today is about plagiarism in the academic community. My classmates are César Augusto Torres Escalante, Miriam Isabel Román Osorio, Kevin Manuel Aguilar Heredia. This is the table of contents. Number 1, introduction. Number 2, developing. Number 3, conclusion. Introduction. The meaning of plagiarism, according to the Dictionary of the Royal Spanish Academy, is to copy the work of others, presenting it as one's own. In that sense, academic plagiarism is to take the academic work done by others as if it weren't own. In other words, is to subtract ideas, text, methods, mechanics, design, etc., and everything that is considered intellectual property. The area of research, one of the points of view is to evaluate the results, why policy and action against academic plagiarism are not always successful, in several cases being the research themselves responsible first of all the implementation of anti-plagiarism measures. In scientific publication, the international protocol based on ethical principles must be followed and respected. As for the others, they must demonstrate their integrity, respect for intellectual property, veracity, and good scientific conduct. Scientific journals must sustain their prestige based on the quality of their publication and the ethical standards of scientific publication that editor must comply with in each manuscript sent by the authors.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about the developing about plagiarism in the academic community. What is the plagiarism? Plagiarism, from Latin plagiar, is defined in this first meaning, such as copying substance works or giving them as their own. It's an act of misappropriation of intellectual property, text scholarships, investigate methods, graphic, and ideas, as well as the fabrication and counterfeiting of information, which in the ethic of scientific publication and classified as a type of bad scientific conduct. In the university environment, there is evidence of an increase in case of plagiarism when time to analyze academic paper, and this is final degree projects, thesis and dissertations when using anti-plagiarism software. However, it is highlighted that the ignorance of strategies to avoid plagiarism infrequent among students of undergraduate and graduate. Understanding academic plagiarism is with all its implication is not a task simple. Problems often increase when it is about identified the situation in which plagiarism is involved. There are mentioned here below 3 of the most common. Uh, the fifth problem results from the lack of the limitation of the concept. Copy what you have done the other and present it as your own. A second problem stems from the different ways and the level in which plagiarism can be done. There is talk of verbatim plagiarism when it is exact match between the original text and the suspicious. And that third problem stems of the consequence of plagiarism. Although academic plagiarism is recognized as to the code of ethics of the scientific research and is located inside the repertoire of behaviors reprehensible and punishable by the majority of research-related institutions.
Example case. We start from an example with one of the most notorious cases in our country, as ways to remove political representative Cesar Acuña, evidence in his doctoral thesis called Teaching Competence and Academic Performance of the Student of the Private-owned University in Peru at the Complutense University of Madrid, Spain, with a total of 3,059 pages. In 2009, the Peruvian engineer Luis Vélez denounced the son's possible plagiarism in the aforementioned doctoral thesis. However, it was not until the 2016 election campaign that this case came out. According to the accusations, it awards that 592 paragraphs are being found in 1,026 book pages which were not cited, coming from 24 books with different previous authors. Due to this, the Complutense University of Madrid announced the formation of an investigation commission in relation to the arguments presented. Despite the evidence exhibited, the investigations were insufficient for the withdrawal of the doctor degree granted to the Cesar Acuña. However, the commission did not distort the evidence provided. It only pointed out that it was insufficient for the nullity of citation. The question was no case for this political representative science in 2016. A complaint was issued for plagiarism as a result of the master thesis entitled Institutional Evaluation and University Accreditation, the case of Cesar Vallejo University in Trujillo, Peru, executed at the University of the Andes in Bogotá, 1997. Do the complement in the different media in Peru and the pronouncement of the directors of the Ford's University, this master degree which was under the subject of topography, deciphered from the institutional repository of the Central Library of the University of the Andes. Thanks.
And now the conclusions. Plagiarism is considered a complex multidimensional phenomenon with various causes that affect the ethical principles of scientific publications, since it breaks the credibility of the authors and is considered a type of scientific misconduct. Its causes involve personal motivations, academic laziness of the authors, time mismanagement towards study and scientific work, the ease and comfort of accessing material via the internet, the lack of knowledge of the basic rules to prepare an academic work, obtain better grades and better academic results, among other causes. It presents various forms of presentation, from a simple copy-paste to complex mechanisms that use computer skills to paraphrase and combine ideas. To avoid plagiarism, we must take refuge in the authorities, design an institutional strategy to promote the management of information and technologies, as well as the legal and ethical use of information. From a pedagogical point of view, information literacy, management of information sources, paraphrasing techniques, as well as explaining what plagiarism is in the university environment and courses, are essential to minimize dishonest behavior like plagiarism. Thanks a lot. Do you have any questions? Goodbye.